here's why I think serving is selling, because it's like you have to first fundamentally see money as like the least valuable form of value, like the least
Yep.
important form of value. And if you see it as the least important form of value, then it's like, okay, from that vantage point, I'm just helping somebody make the right decision. And I also know that I do say no. And when I say no, it's a strong no, and I give a strong why. So yeah, I do think it is, because I think they are being moved into doing something that is going to benefit them, something that they want to do.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's my belief that people wouldn't do it if they don't want to. Like if they came on to a consultation or something and they were like, I know for a fact this is not something I want to do. I mean, I would probably say, okay, cool, then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, to me, it's so much more nuanced than just that 45-minute conversation you have with them. Like there's so many other touch points and everything. But if you believe in your offer, then yeah, I believe that you should go out and get people into it. I think that's like a very popular thing in the marketing space and in the business and sales, education space. Like if you have a good offer, if you have something you believe in, like, yeah, it's your duty to go and sell it. And I think that's somewhat true. I do think that like you can sell yourself on something that like you probably shouldn't sell yourself on.
Yeah.
I think there's like lines in the sand somewhere, but they're all very blurry. So like I think some sales reps will be like, yeah, really, really excited to get you in this thing. But it's like they're only excited to get you in because there's commission involved for them. That's why they're excited. And not only that, they're excited to get you in because they've sold themselves on the product, which is a great skill for any salesperson to have. But you just have to like, I don't know, man. There's some gut level like some gut level. Is this something that they actually need? You know what I mean? And I see why the e-learning industry has the reputation it has, because like, I think it's half on the prospect's fault. I think it's half on the business owner's fault. You know what I mean? I think it's both, because like as these companies scale way up and they start selling to like common people, like unfortunately I think common people overvalue their money.
Yep.
Which is probably a part of why they're in the situation they're in, right? And so then they join a program, and it's not like everything they could have possibly hoped and dreamed for. And it's just a couple marks down from that. And because it's like that meme, right? Like $500 payment, like, I hope I can change my life with this. I hope you know that me and my family really need this money, and that I'm really trusting with $50,000 payment, money sent, thanks.
Yep.
Right? Like it's that meme. So for me, it's like, it's so nuanced. Like I don't know whose fault it lands on. So yeah, that's my answer to that. It's long-winded, but it's because it's like a lot to break down. And I don't want to, I refuse to have such a simplistic answer. I refuse to just be like, oh yeah, it's always the prospect's fault. If they didn't want to, they wouldn't want to. It's like, that's so intellectually dishonest. Yes, I know people that like, they do these like mental hurdles to get to the right place in their head. And for me, like, nah, I don't get that. Like you should have something that's really, really, really good.
Dude, so this is kind of me asking you a question and like bringing in the listeners to it. So obviously, I know you know me, like I'm stepping into like actually making money, if you will. Like I've never made this amount of money before. So you said something like 3 different times in that answer where you said that, I'm not going to quote you, that poor people overvalue money. That's not what you said, but it seems that that's always the case. But how do you value money?
That's
and
useless.
How would you recommend I value it? Because I feel like I put too much value on money.
It's totally useless. Like it does nothing for you, like unless you know how to deploy it. And so money's only as valuable as the person who wields it. You know what I mean? Like it's as valuable as your understanding of how to use it. So money itself is useless. It's like asking like how valuable is like just the toolbox, It's like inherently like there's billions of toolboxes. Yours is no different. No $1 is any different than another dollar. It's the wielder. And so like I value my skills. I value my mentality. I value my network. I value my state of mind. I value my personal relationships. And because I value those things, then my money kind of follows. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I think you make a lot of money as a byproduct of who you are, as much as a byproduct of like actually chasing money can make you. The only problem is like chasing money is a short fuse because you realize that like you've been chasing the wrong thing. Yeah. It's kind of like I've seen this idea going around like, don't chase butterflies; they'll only fly away from you. Like just build a garden and the butterflies will come. Wow. You know, and so I love that. Because that's how I feel about money, man. Like I will never not make money. Like I will always make at least $1 million a year, honestly. Just it's not that hard. It's because I've done the work. You know what I mean? Like I know how to do that, and I know the leverage points of how to create that, and so yeah, that's how I feel about it. I don't value it that much because it's just just a tool.
Yeah, and like this is a little deeper regarding like the Bible, but it's like, dude, the most valuable thing on earth is gold. I mean, commonly, you know, like that's like a good form of currency, gold. And like in heaven, we literally walk on streets of gold. So it's like on earth, the most worthless thing you could think of is concrete. Like we literally walk on it. But like in heaven, the streets are made of the most valuable thing on earth, and we walk on it. So it's like that thought process and what you just said is how I'm trying to shift my mind. Because I have to be honest, like money is a very tempting thing for people to break out of, especially like if you've never had it. But I'm coming out of it, and I'm trying to step into kind of like the way that you think. And most people I've seen that make money think how you're thinking about money too. Like it's like, dude, it's worthless. Like you didn't hesitate at all to answer that.
Yeah, dude.
Like, dude, it's trash.
Yeah, it's completely pointless. Yeah. And so the only thing that money is just an option machine. You know what I mean? Like it gives you options in your personal life. It gives you options in your business life. It gives you leverage. That's it. Personal life, it gives you options. Business life, it gives you leverage. That's the two things it gives you in the two fields of your life. And so outside of that, you just have to ask is like, do I want more options in my life? Do I want more leverage in business? If you want one of those two things, then you should probably figure out how to make more money. Yeah. And I wanted both of those things. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be able to pull bigger ropes in business and like have a bigger lever to do bigger things with. And in my personal life, I wanted options. Like I wanted to enjoy nice things and buy, like I've always been a giver, man. Like in my personal life, money plays the role of allowing me to give. In my business world, it gives me the ability to have a lever. Like, give me a big enough lever, I can move the world, right? And money's just a lever. So, yeah, dude.
So I love that perspective. It's so good.
What about you, man? Do you feel like you're going out of it easily? Do you feel like it's a challenge for you? Like, where do you view money, if you're honest with yourself? Like, how do you see it?
Yeah, so I grew up pretty, I'm not going to say poor, but on the lower end of like the middle class, like just like with parents, like my mom, stepdad, when I was like 13 or so, got on drugs. So they were like in and out of jail, and money was always on their lips in a negative way. Yeah. And again, they were like stoned or whatever. So they were probably just wanting money for like, bad reasons. But I always felt like there was a lack of money. And we'd go places, we can't get that. It's like, the lack of options, I saw it as a very negative thing. So like growing up, that's kind of what drove me, was like, how can I get money and then X will be better? You know what I mean? But what I've realized was when you get the money, it doesn't change anything. It's just like more options and more leverage, like you said. Yep. So to answer a long-winded answer, I know it in my head to be true, but there's like an emotional kid that I'm trying to get rid of. So it's like my financial emotional intelligence is still 14 years old. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm trying to get it to 26 where I am today. So
I had, if I have a form of privilege, man, I mean, definitely the home I was raised in, like we were by no means like wealthy, but we were upper middle class. Like my sister goes to horse riding lessons and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And, but there was like 1 or 2 years, like the thing that flung me into entrepreneurship was seeing that all like hung out in front of my family. We're all looking at it and like, will that still be here? We have no idea. And it's just the house fire. You know what I mean? Like we went through the house fire. all kinds of other stuff happened during that time. My mom and dad both worked on the business, and it just like was impossible to run because of all the things that were going on. You know how it goes. The negative feedback loop starts happening in the business because they can't really be there for it, and then that turns into a million other problems, which then turn into some legal problems, which just was terrible. It was like, yeah, and that's what flung me into this. It was like, you know, I refuse to not be able to give to other people. And I felt like for the first time in my life, my family had become very like self-focused.
Yeah.
Because I came from very much came from a family of like, we want to give, we want to impact others, we want to do great service to the world, we want to give God's light to other people. But the first time ever, we were very, very, very self-focused. And I think that was probably subliminally the message. You know, I want to learn how to speak Hebrew. It's like my only tattoo right now is in Hebrew, right?
Amazing.
And I want to learn how to speak Hebrew. And in Hebrew, when a word has a double meaning, like in English, we've got right and right, like right direction, right correct, right?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, it means nothing, right? But in Hebrew, when a word has a double meaning, or one word can mean multiple things, it's actually very intentional. It's like one of the first words I've learned is the word Deborah, which is actually where we get the name Deborah. And this word is beautiful. It's the same word for language or communication or words as the same word for bees, right? And you think about what bees do, like bees can either temporarily sting, right, and then kill the user. So if you hurt others with your words, you actually slowly kill yourself in the process, right? Or you can create literally the only food that doesn't expire, known to man, is honey. It's the only food that if you put it on a shelf for hundreds of years, it's still good to go. Dang. There's no other food like it. So bees can either temporarily sting and hurt themselves in the process or create the only lasting thing. And so in Hebrew, they understood this concept. So the word for words and bees are the same. Beautiful concept, right? In the same vein, the word for poverty and the word for evil are the same word. Not because those who are in poverty are evil, but unfortunately, due to human nature, they're more likely to conduct evil. And so I saw this in my family for the very first time. Like for the first time, I saw some decisions being made in the family business, and I was like, I'm not sure that that's the right way to do this. And like in the back of my head, I'm like, where's all this energy's not good for us? Like, and I was like, I just refuse to let this happen to my immediate family as well as my future family. Like, I want to always be a giving family, right? And so that's, I think, probably one of the motivators that got me in. It's just very interesting. I think it's very different, kind of our upbringing. But for me, I think the best part of personal wealth is you can actually live your life for other people. Because if you don't have a flow of cash flow, if you don't have that base need met, it's like being starving. You can't think about how to serve other people because you are starving. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to mentor directly underneath me and learn all of the strategies that we've implemented to our students' businesses to help over 100 people reach 6 figures a year, 100 to $999,000 a year, and over, I think it's 15 students as of January 2023 to $1 million a year or more, then I want you to go ahead and schedule your completely free consultation with us. There's no pressure to make a decision. We're not going to force your hand. We're just trying to figure out what it is that you need in order to take that next step to either start your online consulting or coaching business in any niche, any industry, or take your existing consulting or coaching business and really scale it to that next level in order to really sustain a business, put a lot of money in the bank very quickly, and serve a lot of people. Okay, so you can use the pinned comment on this video, or if you're listening on our podcast, go to treycockrum.com/schedule-page, and you can check out that page. It's just a simple schedule page. If you fill out a form and we want to know a bit about you, a bit about where you're coming from and what's motivating you to even speak with us so that we can make sure we give you the best options. And if we notice that you're honestly not in the best place to get started, whether that's financially or time constraints or otherwise, we'll make some other suggestions to you, okay? Our reputation is everything to us, so we're only going to really make offers to people we know for a fact that we can help. And even if we don't make you an offer, it will still be some of the best 45 to 60 minutes you've spent on your business this year, because you're going to get a custom strategy and be told exactly what you should do next. Okay, so book your free consultation using the link in the description or in the pinned comment, or if you're listening on our podcast, treycockrum.com/schedule-page. See you there.